What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I'm Steven. This is Steven in Stereo. We have a really exciting video today because Harry Styles on Friday released Fine Line, and I would have done my video significantly sooner, but I was waiting for something really important to me, and I was like, I can't shoot this video without this item. There's no way I'm going to be able to do it. As you guys know, when I try to do some of these videos, especially for newer releases, things that are currently out and I'm able to get, I always try to pick up the record, and I have one here. And this one is very special because I don't own this one. This is for one of you guys. Because you guys are always so supportive of my channel, and you're always trying to help me push my content further and further, allowing my community to grow and allowing me to do this full-time for a living, which I honestly never underappreciate. This is the most amazing job in the world. But because you guys do that, I want to be able to give back. So I'm giving a Harry Styles Fine Line vinyl. This is the 2x LP. I bought this at a record store, so this is not the Target exclusive. Yeah, I'm really excited to give it away. So the rules are very simple. Click the first link in the description. It's real big right there. Make sure to enter the competition. There are different things you can do to get more entries for the competition. The main things I ask though, you must be following me on Instagram and Twitter. That is very simple. Make sure to use the link though to do that, because it will verify that you were doing that and it'll add you into the contest. This is open for everyone, US, international, whatever. Just please note that if you are international, shipping does take a little bit longer, so bear with me if that is the case. But it's very simple. YouTube is in no way affiliated with this giveaway. This is just something I wanted to do personally, completely free to enter. Make sure to check that link. I will be picking a winner. Let's see, today's the 15th. Let's give it a good 7 days. I will pick the winner December 22nd. And I will notify you, and I will make sure to shout it out on Instagram and Twitter so everybody knows that it was real and that you won. So I'm really excited to be giving this away. I haven't even listened to the album yet, but I knew I had to pick one of these up. Just look at this beautiful album art. I mean, come on, man. Harry kills it with the fashion. So anyways, make sure to enter the giveaway and win this amazing piece of vinyl right here. Now, before we get into today's video, make sure to like the video. Let YouTube know that you like the video and it's kind of cool. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. You guys can follow me on Instagram and Twitter. Links are always in the description. Again, if you're in the giveaway, make sure to do those things so you are entered. Okay, the last thing I'm gonna plug before we get into this album, because I'm starting to get a little anxious, I'm ready to listen to this, is I have a Patreon account. Patreon is a really great website that allows some of my viewers to actually support my channel and allows me to continue to do what I do and continue to do giveaways and things like that, because these kind of things aren't cheap, and I'm really appreciative that I have such a supportive community. So if you are interested in checking out the Patreon to help support this channel, just note I do have a lot of exclusive Harry Styles videos over there that I've done. I try to do exclusive content strictly for Patreon because since you guys are so nice and giving, I try to do my best to, try to do the same thing, make some videos that I would have not otherwise put on my channel. I'll do them over there for you guys. We can talk about them. It's a little bit more intimate of a setting. I'm not trying to make these mass videos, just something a little bit more cool. If you're interested in checking that out, make sure to check one of the links in the description and become a Patreon member today. Okay, with all those things out of the way, I'm ready to get into this album. I see here on the vinyl, he has this in 4 sections. It's like side A, side B, side C, and it ends with Fine Line on side D. Now, personally, I'm not a huge fan of that because I actually listen to all my records, and having to flip the record that many times sucks. But I think based on his self-titled, the way that he structured the songs and the sequence that it went in, I have a feeling that might be something that we're going to experience here, but I'm not sure. This first track we're going to listen to is a song called Golden. Hey! A couple of notes in and I'm already impressed that he continued to go with this same sound. It's got definitely that 60s, 70s, ABBA, Journey, sort of Fleetwood Mac kind of thing going on, and I hope that that's what we see throughout this, because you never know. An artist gets big, you never know if they're gonna stick with what it was that was so special about them. And already on track 1 in 24 seconds, I at least have that vibe on one song. This has such a happy vibe. It is making me so stoked, and I also feel like this is quite the song that I'm gonna be giving a little bit of a headbang to because I'm just feeling these drums. I'm feeling it's a very bright sound that's happening. And of course, Harry's vocals, which we haven't even touched on yet, just sounds so good over this track. There is something so, like, I don't know if it's the bright instrumental, but this song just makes me smile. There's just something about this. Maybe it's because it's the intro track and I've just been like impatiently waiting for this album. Isn't that kind of amazing? I just listened to the other one and I'm already like looking forward to an album this much. But there's just something bright in this. Everything pulled together kind of just makes you happy. Oh man. Intro track, amazing. I'm loving Golden right now. I love the bright instrumental. I love the vocals he used over this. I love hearing those like doop doo doo happening in the back. These like ooh-wah kind of vocals that are happening. Very much reminiscent of some 60s and 70s. And again, I get nervous when someone like, I mean, Harry Styles is huge and he's been huge. And that debut album that I just listened to, phenomenal, right? And so I'm worried that I'm going to get to the next album and it's not going to be the same. Maybe he loses some of that influence. But right out of the bat, Golden does not make me feel that way. It makes me very excited, especially since I've heard some of these songs on here, so I kind of know what we're going to get. The next track we're going to listen to is Watermelon Sugar. I've only heard the live version. I still don't know what this is about. I've seen things online that I'm not going to talk about in this video because y'all nasty. But I'm excited to listen to the actual recorded track of this, so let's do it. And it sounds just like a song. Hey! I love the live version of this song, but I love a well-produced Harry Styles track because his vocals are so great. And when you give him time to really get the perfect take on those vocals, you're gonna get something like this, and it just sounds so great over this. Woo! Like, listen to that guitar riff. We just gotta give it up to the band here because, you know, it's hard to make music like this these days because a lot of stuff is done in the studio and typically just on a screen with a keyboard. There's a lot of technology, and while I love technology, I think when it comes to music, I like to hear both ends of it. I love the high-tech sort of production that people use, but I love also when people take it back a little bit and just have a band and jam like this, and that's exactly what we get when we watch Harry Styles. We know that. I'm gonna have such a sore neck tomorrow because everything is so jumpy right now. And again, like when I look at the record and I look at the track list, I do see that it is split up. And so I don't know if there's gonna be a point when it gets like a little bit, I don't know, a little bit slower, a little bit sad. But so far everything's upbeat. These instrumentals are very bass heavy. It's very funky. You've also got these like sliding guitars that come in with these really excellent riffs. Again, very reminiscent of some really great times in music. And I'm loving this. Again, I have no idea what the song actually is about. I know the speculation. Again, I'm not going to talk about it. Y'all know what it is because y'all nasty. But if it is what everybody says it is, good for you, Harry. I'm glad you're exploring that kind of stuff. Number 3, the next thing we're going to listen to is Adore You. Now, I obviously watched the music video, and I love the music video, even though it was kind of trippy, and for a while I didn't know what was going on. He definitely made a really bold statement at the end, saving that fish and bringing the entire community together to actually save the fish. But one thing I did say about this track, other than Harry's amazing vocals on this, is the instrumental was amazing. I think as much praise as I'm going to give Harry on this album as we go through it, I guarantee you I'm going to be giving that same praise to the band because I love the instrumentals. All right, Adore You. Yes! This is a moment where I just want to say I am very happy that for what he does, I'm glad he chooses to keep this same characteristic about him instead of trying to go for something more on the pop route, because you know he could. But I love that this is what he's deciding to do. And, you know, people can say what they want, but I think that he really is going to be bringing back a style if he's making it this popular again. I mean, I bet this record sells so much. Woo! God, you never really get tired of that raspy vocal that he gets. Not all the time, but like this song, he's doing it kind of a lot, and I like it. It gives a lot more of like a harder edge rock song into this very funky beat, and he's able to take different genres and put them all together to make that, and it makes a very signature sound for him. So, of the songs that have come out so far, that has definitely been my favorite, which is why I'm excited to look through this, because Watermelon Sugar, Adore You, and Lights Up are the only songs that I've heard off this album. And so of those three, I even said this in the music video, but of those three, Adore You is definitely my favorite. So far, all three of these instrumentals have been pretty funky, pretty upbeat, and very bass heavy. And I just love to hear this as like the start of this album. Again, it's split into 4 sections. I don't know if that ever really means anything, but judging by the fact that this is a 46-minute runtime album, it could have easily been on one LP. So I'm very interested to see if there's going to be some sort of story that goes with that. I still love Adore You, love the raspy vocals in this, love those really high-pitched backing vocals that happen in the song. And yeah, again, giving it up to the band. I love the instrumentals in this. Now, Lights Up is actually the first Harry Styles song that I ever heard, if you can even believe that, judging by how far we are now. But it's been a long time since I've listened to it, so let's do it. I'm just having nostalgia of that moment when I first realized that everything I thought about Harry Styles was completely wrong. Those high-pitched like harmonies or whatever that have happened, the same thing that we got in Adore You as well. I hope that's an ongoing theme in this because they get so high, and I love to hear that. I don't think that's Harry. I think that's one of his backup singers. Maybe it is Harry, and I've just never heard him go that range. But I hope we get more of that in this album because I feel like that blend works so well on these. Man, I just want to go back and like hear this song for the first time again because it's like that moment whenever you think you know something about an artist and then out of nowhere you hear a song like this for the first time hearing one of their songs, and everything that you thought you knew is just like destroyed in front of you. And that's exactly how I felt the first time I heard this song and watched the music video, which by the way, I don't know how he did it. There were like so many people touching him in that music video. I could have never done that. But again, really bright in the instrumental here, especially when you have those really high range harmonies happening. I feel like it adds even more brightness. Something about Harry's vocals in this always felt so like atmospheric a little bit whenever it was plugged into this instrumental, but I really enjoyed it. Okay, now we're at that moment where I've only heard one new song, and so we are at like a third through the album, and we're finally getting to some songs other than Golden that I've never heard. So this first track I'm going to listen to is a song called Cherry, and I think I keep using this for reference. Okay, so this is considered side B, so this is the first vinyl and it's side B, so let's see if anything changes. Okay, complete change. Right away, this is the slowest song we've listened to on the record so far, and right away this is acoustic driven and I haven't heard any bass yet, so there's definitely at least been a change sonically, so I wonder if the lyrics are also going to reflect that. I like that line. I noticed there's a piece of you in how I dress. Take that as a compliment. That's pretty deep. I mean, think about it. Like, you're in like relationships, and I mean, I don't know because I'm trying to pick up the lyrics as I'm listening to this, but I imagine if you're with somebody for a while or you were for a long time, you pick up some of their habits or things that they liked or things that they picked out for you or whatever, and he's only using it as showing like, oh, look, it's part of it in the way that I dress, but it's actually so much bigger than that. It's kind of like people make like an impact on your life a little bit. And just like that, the entire vibe of this album has switched. I kind of felt like that was going to happen. This album felt a little upbeat, and while I know that is true, when I think of the name like Fine Line, and I think about some of the harder hitting tracks from the self-titled, there's a part of Harry Styles that I hadn't seen yet in this album, and it definitely just came out in Cherry. Some of the metaphors he used in this were really excellent, and again, the instrumental here being able to, you know, it was mostly acoustic, and then eventually the bass came in with a little bit heavier of a guitar and really brought the emotion of the song that Harry was trying to portray in this, if you weren't able to pick it just on the broken sound in his voice and the lyrics alone. So that was a really excellent song, and that is up there for one of my favorite sounding songs so far on this, 5 tracks in. There's just something about it, especially when you look at the sequence of the tracks and how it went from like very upbeat to out of nowhere like leveled us for a second and definitely made us feel whatever Harry was going through in that song, and I love that. So now I wonder if that's going to be the rest of the album. Let's find out. The next track we're going to listen to is a song called Falling.
I'm in my bed, not here, the drink and my wandering.
It's weird. It's like Sad Harry is such a vibe because his vocals are so like significantly different and almost better in a way when he's singing from a place of sadness. And while that sucks, when you think about him as a human and having to go through that, as a music fan, I think it's fair to say most of my favorite music is sad music. I think you get a very emotional, raw look into someone's life. And for that, you're going to get the most emotion in the vocals, and you can hear it right away on this.
Not what I meant.
So, I mean, I know we're only halfway into this album, but that vocally is Harry's best moment so far. There was something incredible about that entire run, that entire chorus just now. It's there's 4 minutes in this song total, and I hope that we hear that again because that was just absolutely incredible from him. Hearing that sadness portrayed so well through his vocals, fucking amazing. I mean, that's easily the best vocal performance on this song. Again, you hear, I kind of felt that a little bit in Cherry, but it really comes out here in Falling. And that chorus in particular is amazing. That bridge, amazing. And you can really tell that like Harry's really feeling what he's going through right now. He is letting it out there. Like he is putting everything on the line and really making us feel what he was feeling, giving us that insight into his life. And again, sad music can do that. And whenever you got someone like Harry Styles doing that, I originally was upset that the song Medicine wasn't going to be on this album. And because I watched the live performance, you can check that out on Patreon if you're interested. And I was upset that that song wasn't going to be on here. However, as I'm kind of like going through this and listening, unless it would have happened like right after Watermelon Sugar or something, I don't know that it would fit because it went from like a more of an upbeat album to like straight into, okay, now that I got your attention, let me tell you how I really feel. And that's definitely where this album is going to me. Yeah, that song was amazing. The next song we're gonna listen to is a song called To Be So Lonely.
I was just a little boy, not even a little bit. Don't call me baby.
I feel like there's a couple lyrical elements in this song that connect back to Cherry and Falling. Because he said, don't call me baby, and he kind of mentioned something along those lines in Cherry. And right at the beginning, he said, don't blame me for falling. Last song was Falling, so I don't know if that actually means anything, but I feel like Harry's a pretty intelligent dude. I feel like he did that on purpose. Also, I think it would be a very terrible thing if I didn't at least acknowledge the guitar riff in this song. Like, it's so interesting. Again, I don't know if those lyrics were purposely placed in there, but judging by how everything else is flowing together, I definitely feel that way. I really enjoy the chorus and the pre-chorus in this song. There's something very magical about how they kind of come together and they get bigger and bigger as they progress. Of course, Harry's vocals amazing in this song. The only thing I wasn't really feeling, I think the guitar riff that was happening, it's an incredible guitar riff. However, with the verse, it felt a little jumbled, but that's where I really enjoyed where the song picked up in the pre-chorus and chorus, because I think that part was a little bit messy, but everything else came together so nicely, and again, so atmospheric. And again, I'm doing my best to pay attention to these lyrics because I feel like he's really telling us a story here, and I'm into it. Okay, the next track we're gonna listen to is a song called She. It's like, I talk about atmosphere and I talk about vibes in this album, and then we get this song, and in the first 14 seconds, it is super like 60s psychedelic kind of vibe right now. Ooh, the bass. Man, if you were ever questioning where his influence comes from, this is his best example of where what he enjoys, and this is the best rendition of anything he's influenced by. Like, everything about this song just screams like 60s psychedelic, and I am so stoked that it is done this well. And his vocals, by the way, where that chorus comes in, incredible. I am so excited to hear this music being so popular right now, and for him to do such an amazing job. Really, the last person that I heard do this on more of like a pop level would have been Lana Del Rey and Ultraviolence. I think she took a lot of that same 60s, 70s psychedelic influence, guitar heavy riffs, and did it amazing here. And what Harry just did, absolutely incredible. That would be a collab I'd love to see. They both have so much of the same influence. It'd be amazing to hear them over a track like this, just going all out. This is incredible. This has to be one of the most, what would I call it? One of the most like interesting tracks on this album. One of the most interesting moments from Harry Styles to take all of that influence he has and put it all out there on one song. And again, a lot of people are going to buy this album probably not have ever even experiencing this, or maybe just on a very small level, and they're going to hear this, and it's crazy because, you know, you don't have to do drugs. I've never done drugs to feel like you're in a totally different world when you listen to something like this. It has this way of like having your mind leave your body, and it just creates such an interesting moment. And there's so many great bands that do it, but what Harry just did is incredible. I'm so stoked on this. Okay, the next song we're gonna listen to is called Sunflower Volume 6. Maybe I'm gonna be lost because I didn't hear Sunflower Volume 1 through 5, but hopefully he'll guide us through it. Woo! It's amazing how as soon as the tempo starts to pick back up, because we have Cherry falling and To Be So Lonely, and then everything kind of like goes on this whole trip in She, and then it gets to Sunflower, and as that tempo picks up, it's very interesting how they reintroduce heavy bass and more of that funky sound again, almost to like, okay, we brought you to this part in his life, and now we're going to like transcend you out of it back to this. And it's just very cool how they have the instrumentals go with that. Yeah, I'm loving the journey that they're taking us on in this album. It doesn't just feel like a bunch of singles. It doesn't feel like we're just trying to give you an idea of what Harry does. We got that in the self-titled album, and there's a very strong purpose for that. But I'm glad with this, it's a little more intimate. It's a little more, come with me, I want to take you on this. And if you don't believe me, just listen to She into Sunflower. Because when you hear, and again, I'm going to use this for reference, Cherry falling, To Be So Lonely, and She exist on their own. That could have been its own 4-song EP. But to have She fade out with that psychedelic sort of like ending all the way into Sunflower where we're happy again, it's just amazing to see that sort of story that he's taking us on. The next song we're going to listen to is a song called Canyon Moon.
Never looked so blue. I'm under the canyon moon.
Look at how quick we're like into these like happy guitars again and happy Harry, and like we're excited, but we all like feel differently now because we've already felt Your Broken Place. Like, I love this. I love the harmonies in this song right away. I think a lot of this album, I think he has double recording, or he has his backup singers sing a lot of the same lines to play him over, because I think that does add a little bit more depth to the vocals. Even though Harry sounds so great by himself, when you get that production and you have those vocals, I feel like it stands out even more. I would definitely say that other than the really amazing acoustic guitar in that song, one thing I really loved, it had sort of that like old school kind of country vibe, almost like a Fleetwood Mac, so not like too country. It's a little bit on the rock side as well. I love the double vocals in this song, the harmonies in this song, especially towards the end when Harry really gets a chance to just do some ad-libbing in the back. It's just a lot of that really came together to create a really cool moment. I don't know how you could listen to this song one song at a time. I feel like this song has to be listened to as a complete collection. I think of the album Fine Line as just one long song so far, because I like going through this journey. I don't know what it is about it. Some albums are like that, some albums are not. This is one of those albums that I think should be played front to back. There's no skips. This is just such a good moment. The next song we're going to listen to is a song called Treat People with Kindness. I feel like this would be a tacky song on a lot of albums because you never know quite how people are, but I feel like with Harry Styles, it's actually a genuine song because he seems to radiate this kind of positivity, this kind of love everyone and treat people with kindness. I feel like that is his entire aura. So it doesn't at all feel tacky because it feels like it's just one more insight into his life. There's so much Queen influence in this song, Freddie Mercury influence. I don't know if you guys are picking that up as well, but a lot of those higher pitched vocals that are happening, this more upbeat sound, I feel like I could picture Freddie Mercury singing the song. Again, all that Queen influence, so sick. This song is just so on brand with Harry Styles and his whole entire life. So again, this could have been a very cheesy song, kind of a tacky song on a lot of albums. However, when it's someone like Harry Styles, again, I'm just gonna reiterate that this is this dude. Like this song right here pretty much explains this guy. So yeah, for that reason, it's fun. And I also really love all the draw to Freddie Mercury and Queen right there because I think he nailed it with that. Okay, the last track we're gonna listen to is the name of the album. The song is called Fine Line. This album so far, not long enough. I don't know if you guys agree with me, but this is not long enough. And I am kind of bummed about that. I think that, you know, even though I just heard the debut album, even going through this, the songs just, you go through them so quick because they're so good. And now I already feel like I want more. And we still haven't even listened to the last song. So let's listen to Fine Line.
Price on emotion, man, I can hate you sometimes.
Go back to the conversation I had about a lot of these songs having so much atmosphere and so much room, and this is one of those songs as well. You hear those double vocals, you hear those harmonies, very simple acoustic guitar happening in the back, but this song is like, it fills up so much space, even being so simple, and there's just something about both the production and his band and his vocals that are somehow able to create so much space, and it sounds so great on this album.
We'll be a fine line.
Even though I feel like that song closed this out perfectly, I just still feel like I'm wanting so much more. But that song in particular is pretty much a good way to sum up this entire album, where it takes you on a journey, and at first, like, you're like really drawn in and you're like, man, what is he saying? Like, you're like falling into this, and then as quick as that atmosphere feels sad and slow, it quickly picks up, and I felt myself like instantly, like it's like a mood booster instantly, and as it faded out, like I felt content. Even though I wanted more, I felt content, and I think that it's amazing to have a song that does that. Albums are getting really good lately about having good closing songs, tracks that just make you feel like, yeah, maybe I wanted more, but I feel good, I'm happy, I'm leaving this album happy. And I just want to say that I don't know all the genius behind Harry Styles. I don't know if his team is real big, but I'm pretty sure that he writes all of his music, or at least co-writes it, and you can feel that in this album. What an amazing experience to go through this journey and actually get a chance to have insight into his life, you know, starting with Golden and working all your way down, and just the fact, and I'm gonna say it again, but I'm gonna nerd out, just the fact that they have this split up into 4 sections is so amazing. And now when I see Fine Line, a 6-minute track that's on its own side on a record, it makes sense to me because it is an exit. Like, it's the end of this. It's that, hey, we went through this, but everything's gonna be okay. Leave with this amazing emotion. And that's how it feels. And I think that that's an amazing experience. Again, I don't like when records have, you know, 7 vinyl and everything is one song and all this stuff, but I think he did it right this way. Even for a 46-minute runtime, I just feel like he did it right. And as much as I loved the debut album, I do feel like now that I can look back on it, basing it on other material, I do feel like that album in particular was that moment for Harry to really show all the different things he can do and put that out there for people to hear. And I'm glad he did, because people like me, I had never heard Harry Styles. I never listened to him. I never appreciated his music, never took a time to dive into those track lists and really enjoy what he made. And when I get Fine Line, because I know more about him, I know more about his music, more about his influence, and more about what he loves, to be able to go on the Fine Line journey, I think makes an incredible experience, and it's so different. You don't get a lot of music like that. And so the fact that the track list was set up to just take us on a journey, I just gotta shout out really quick, Cherry, Falling to Be So Lonely and She, that is the best moment on this record. Side B is the best moment on this record. It's so beautiful to listen to together, and I feel like because it is broken up into sections, that is one section in particular that I could listen to on repeat forever and ever. Just amazing to hear us go through that emotional moment for him, that heartbreak, that sadness, and then to come out of it at She with that psychedelic song, super spacey ending, right into Sunflower, which is super happy and upbeat to let you know, like, hey, we're just gonna go through it here together. And I just want to say that this is an incredible album. I was not expecting it to be this good, and even though there are certain songs I wish would have been on here, for one, Medicine, I will say that it definitely would not have fit on this. I think that every song on here served a purpose, a place, and again, it was Harry grabbing us by the hand and taking us on this amazing experience with him, and I loved it. I'm so stoked that we just checked this out together, and I gotta say, don't forget to sign up for the giveaway. It is free. Link is in the description. Again, no YouTube affiliation. This is just me. Make sure the minimum rule here is you got to be following me on Instagram and Twitter. But even that, you still got to go through the link in the bottom. I encourage you to give me the accurate email address, because when I reach out to you because you won, make sure that it's the right address. Otherwise, I have to give it to somebody else. The giveaway is going to end December 22nd, so I just wanted to make sure December 22nd is the giveaway ending. That's where I will announce the winner on Instagram and Twitter. And I am so excited to give this to one of you guys. And again, while you listen to this copy that I gave to you, Side B. Side B is my favorite thing. I really hope you guys liked today's video. If you did, please make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. You guys can also follow me on Instagram and Twitter. Links are always in the description. Again, I do have a Patreon, and I have a lot of Harry Styles exclusive content on there, including his Medicine performance, which I talk about and all the fun things I love about it. And I do put very exclusive content over on that channel as sort of like a thank you to everyone who supports the channel. So if you're interested, you like the content, you want to support the channel so I can continue to do the things I love, please make sure to check the link. I hope you guys have an amazing day. Keep a fine line in life. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.